Hi, my name is Luis De Paz, and this is part of my project for the Latina Studies class for 10, Seminar on Gender and Latinas. And for my community service learning, I actually volunteer in the Cinemas Latino Film Festival. At first, you might not really see a connection with Latinas, but as you look into it, Latinas do play a huge part in the media today. And I was just interested to see what roles they play in the cinema fest. And it was interesting to see that a lot of the directors, or a few of the directors, were males, but also there was like a lot of Latinas, and there was a few actually films that I got to watch that included Latina issues. A couple of them were Life Deferred, which talked about a Latina or Mexican girl, undocumented girl getting deferred action. Also, Divine Ladies, which was a group of ladies that were excluded from a lowrider community because they were girls and they were forced to be kind of just their husbands' followers rather than actually being one of the lowriders. And lastly, I also watched this film called Tamale, which was about an old woman who sells tamales in Chicago and her struggles as well. So this made me think a lot, and as part of, in addition to my CSL, I decided to do this oral history video, in which I interviewed two of my friends, one which is a Latino and a Latina, and just to see and compare their opinions about this issue. So I hope you enjoy it. So, what's your name?
My name is Javier Morelos Garza.
What's your age?
I'm 19 years old.
What's your major?
My major is Hospitality and Tourism Management.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ceres, California.
And how about your family? Or?
My family's from Mexico, Michoacan.
But your mom and your dad?
No, my dad's from Texas.
Do you have any Latina role model that's in the media today, and why?
A role model I would say is Selena, because she may not be like in it recently, but they still show the annual celebration of her, and I think she's a role model because I feel like she gave a lot of women strength to pursue their dreams and to just follow their passions, and she kind of fought that stereotype of women in the industry and succeeding in life and stuff, and she kind of just overcame that. And overall, she was a really good person, and she cared for people. And, yeah.
Well, you said that she's kind of an old person in the industry and in the media. Bringing it to today, how do you think Latinos are being portrayed in the media?
I think it's gotten a little bit better, but I still feel like women aren't, or Latinas especially, they're not being used for as their full potential. I feel like they're more seen as women, kind of side categories, side roles, instead of being the main person.
Can you say some of those side roles?
I can't think of it.
Okay. So overall, would you think it's a positive or a negative image that Latinas are being portrayed on in the media?
I think it varies over time, or it depends on what it is, what channel, who it is. It varies. There's never it's never consistent. It's always everywhere.
Okay. So would you say that the media, especially Latino media, is being male dominate?
Yeah, I would say so, even though I don't watch it as much, but I would say so. But the parts that I've seen, it's always male host or male this, male that.
Okay. Any kind of last comments that you would like to say or no?
No.
So what's your name?
Adriana Perez.
How old are you?
21.
What's your major?
Kinesiology.
And where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, but my parents are from Mexico. My dad's from Mexicali, and my mom's from Nayarit.
Okay. Do you have any Latina role models that are in the media or were in the media? And why would they be your role model?
A specific person, I wouldn't can't really choose one, but I just feel all the ones that have made an impact and a change, the first Latina woman to do this, the first Latina woman to do that, and those people are an inspiration, I feel.
Do you have an example or a couple examples?
Just the women that came up top, like Selena, she went from the bottom, literally, you know, and then she worked her way up. And like other people that have started just like that, like in their own homes, and then just worked their way up. You know, like I was watching this little girl on YouTube, and she's from the same neighborhood I am, and now she's super famous, and only because she described like a bunch of stuff in her neighborhood that I drive around every day when I'm back home. So I mean, that's pretty cool to know that, like, you know.
So you feel a connection, and it's kind of like inspiring. Okay. Now, how do you think Latinas are being portrayed in the media today? And is it a positive or negative, or not really in a specific picture of them?
Well, I feel like women in general are just being targeted as sex objects in the media, like, you know, curves or having voluptuous this or voluptuous that, and, you know, the hair and how they act, you know, and stuff like that. I feel like versus a westernized woman, like just like a blonde, skinny, slender, tall woman versus somebody that has curves, somebody that's like not what everybody's just seeing every day, or back in the day, like, you know, the whole westernized view of a woman. But yeah, I do feel like women are sex objects, and they're just like the first thing when like the camera's going to a woman, it's like their breasts or their butt, like when they're walking away or something, you know, and they're always targeted as being seen like lower, and like having to their dependency on different people is like a big issue in a lot of the movies, unless the movie's like a documentary or something portraying like the where the woman is the main person or whatever. But yeah.
Another question. Has being a Latina for you ever made something difficult? Perhaps like being part of a certain group, or even and by being Latina, I don't mean like just because you're brown, but first of all being the girl, and then the Latinas like comes.
Well, I feel like with a girl comes a lot of like people don't expect a lot from you. Or if you're around a bunch of guys or whatever, you're seeing, oh, she's just a girl, whatever. Like when I was little growing up and I couldn't play a certain sport because I was a girl and everybody else was guys, and they would tell me I couldn't play, like that would get me mad. So even from a young age, a lot of girls are seen as weak and belittled and not like up there, or they're domesticated where they belong in the kitchen, and they still have that nowadays. You know, like when women go into the media and stuff like that, they are like asked to do this or do that, to look hotter, to look skinnier, to look youthful or whatever, you know, like women are the ones that constantly have to change for society, and I feel like there are much more pressures on us because males, like, they've been the big people up there, you know, powerful ones since way back in the day, you know, so now it's just like we have been moving up like in the workforce and stuff like that, but to step away from that like ideal gender roles or whatever, like that's still an issue, I feel. But as far as me, yeah, like I said, when I was growing up, when I was little, and even now, like, if you're with a bunch of guys, like, you have to prove yourself that much harder to make guys, like, listen to you and stuff.
Well, I think that's all, but do you have any last comments or thoughts that you would like to share?
No.
Okay. After, you know, interviewing both of my friends, it was really interesting to see their different opinions, just because one being, you know, a guy or a Latino, and then my friend, you could actually see that she was really kind of had a stronger opinion and voice about the issue, and it was interesting to see, you know, that she really didn't have a specific role model. It was just kind of like the first to do this, the first to do that. But it's kind of sad that we don't really include Latinas in the general voice, where, you know, when you see a Latino, there's a bunch of Latino role models that, you know, we can point out. It could be athletes or politicians, but it's a little sad that not to see a lot of Latinas out there. And yeah, I think, in my opinion, from what I saw, the main issue is just Latinas are always looked down upon, and you know, reading, you know, doing a couple of the readings for the class as well, I could really see a lot of what my friend had to say linked a lot with what the book said as well. And I mean, as you can say, that my Latino friend, or Javi, he really kind of was just talking, and, you know, a role model was Selena, which is, you know, one of the first Latinas to come out, but it was a lot of she was really controversial because even though she was the first Latina to do something, you know, come out in the media, and she had a lot of followers, she also was exposing a lot of nudity, and there was just a lot of controversy. But it was really interesting to see their opinions, and yeah, it was really great to follow it up with my part of community service learning, and I had a good time. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.